Welcome to the UAA Action News with your hosts, Christopher Schaefer and Rosalie Gunawan.
Good morning, and these are today's headlines.
New hospital in South Anchorage proposed. Will it happen?
Is it okay for the drinking age to be lowered if the driving age is raised?
Should commercial marijuana products be legalized?
Should high schools be allowed to distribute birth control to their students?
How practical is it to expand public transportation?
But our top story this morning is a new feasibility study that explores the possibility of creating a resting area at the University of Alaska Anchorage. This feasibility study was researched by an English A212 group who go by the name of the University Students for Sleep and Resting, also known as the USSR. The USSR decided that UAA should have locations for students to rest at. First, we'll go over some of the secondary research they provided, a graphic analysis of the questionnaire they distributed, as well as some of the other responses to the questionnaire, and lastly, the conclusion and recommendations of the study.
This feasibility report was created with the intent for students to get more sleep and hopefully raise their GPAs. Many university students travel to and from campus long distances during rush hour, a long time, and don't get much sleep due to too much homework, etc. In order for that time to be spent traveling back and forth between breaks, the USSR suggested having these big areas for sleeping and resting.
Many reports have shown that sleeping is very important and students need to be awake to study in class. According to newsrx.com, a lack of sleep is found to be associated with students' GPA.
But I thought a lot of them use caffeine.
Yes, but according to yoursleep.org, once the alertness has worn off, the caffeine inhibits one's ability to fall asleep into a deep REM stage.
You have done your research.
I sure have. Another interesting fact about the study is the likelihood of caffeine addiction.
Having that caffeine boost for an hour or two is great. The side effects are after the rush is no fun. Feeling extremely tired, caffeine headaches, migraines, and even depression can be caused by constricted blood vessels dilating back to normal size.
But back to sleep. Another study done by Dr. Maston at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock correlated students' lack of sleep with what he calls the blame game.
What is this blame game that you're talking about?
Well, Christopher, the blame game is one's tendency to conclude that certain events of their life were affected by another person's actions and not their own.
Like blaming the professor when you get an F on an exam?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All this concern about sleep seems like a colossal issue, especially to college students like our C rules.
Yes. Now let's go to our field reporter, Seth Anderson, to continue talking about this snoozing issue. Seth, you have the report there. Now tell us what you found out.
Thank you, Rosalie and Chris. And yes, Rosalie, you're right. Caffeine does inhibit the deep sleep that is also outlined in this report. The USSR recognizes that their fellow students aren't getting enough sleep, so they conducted a study to evaluate the need of a resting area on UAA's main campus.
And what were the key results from the study?
As you can see from this graph, the USSR gathered a random sample of 21 UAA students, asking about their sleeping habits and evaluating their desire for a resting area. The first graph shows that out of the students surveyed, more than half fell into the moderately tired and tired categories. As you can see, there were no students who responded that they felt well rested. On this next graph, you can also see that no students strongly agreed that they got enough sleep on days they have class. The USSR concluded from these questions that UAA students do not feel like they are getting enough sleep. This graph shows that the students' need for a resting area. As you can see, more than half felt that they did not need a resting area. Based on these results, the USSR recommended further research to be taken before coming to a decision on whether creating a resting area on campus is feasible or not. So, to see other people's opinions on this topic, I decided to conduct an interview with random individuals. Excuse me, miss. I was wondering if I could ask you a quick question. So I'm doing a little study on seeing if a resting area on UAA's main campus is feasible, and I was wondering if having a resting area would benefit you.
Yes, I think it would give me a place to just rest peacefully.
Excuse me, sir, I was wondering if I could ask you a quick question about a study that I'm doing.
Okay.
So my study that I'm doing is trying to see if a resting area on UAA's main campus is feasible, and I was wondering, what are your thoughts on this?
Sounds like a horrible idea. It's just people should be sleeping at home in their dorms. Why waste money on something extra? Just a waste of time and money.
Okay. Thank you for your time. So I'm going around and asking people about a feasibility study that the USSR is doing, and I wanted to see your opinion on whether a resting area on UAA's main campus would benefit you.
Well, personally, I don't think I would use it, but I can see how it would be beneficial to other people.
Thank you. Hi, I'm going around and I'm asking UAA students on finding out if a resting area would be beneficial to them on UAA's main campus. What are your thoughts?
It sounds creepy, dude. Sorry, I gotta go sleep. That's creepy. I'm sorry.
Thanks for your time. Well, it seems like I got a mixed bag of responses, and it seems like the USSR has to conduct further research in their study. Their study is a great start, but I recommend that more student input is needed. This is Seth Anderson, signing off.
Thank you, Seth. Well, indeed, that is something to watch for. More from the USSR. At this point, the USSR concluded that their feasibility study needs further research before they can decide what to do about this problem.
Yes, like Seth mentioned, more student input is needed. So back to the drawing board with their questionnaire and getting more responses.
We'll keep you informed on the streaming study. We're going to take a short break now. Get a cup of coffee, have a bagel, and we'll be right back after this.